A while back I asked you to send some photos for critique so that I can learn a bit better about reading photos and understanding how to critique, and at the same time give you the opportunity to get an outside perspective on how on your work, which is also, of course, probably one of the key elements to success. But not only by getting feedback, by also listening to it, put it into works with your whatever you're doing. In my daily job, I have been working with feedback-based counseling for 10 years. To give feedback on photos is not the same thing, but I think there are some similarities. I'm fairly familiar and I know how it feels to get feedback every day from people who ask for help. Was I listening? Did we talk about the right things that we were going to talk about? Was there something that was left out that I should have focused on more? These kind of questions are very important in counseling, but when it comes to photo critique, it's a different story, since it's your work, it's something very personal there as well, of course. But then again, how do I shift the knowledge that I have from one sort of critique or feedback towards another? And also now I'm on the listener table of now I am giving critique instead of getting critique. So also with that, I have more knowledge on getting critique than actually giving it. My name is Oscar Lehtinary, and this is Fine Photography. In this video, I will go through 6 photos from 6 different artists. I will also, of course, link their socials to the comments below and or to the description below. And if you have any questions to the artists about this or feedback on how I gave feedback, please give that as well in the comments after you have listened to this video. I must say before we begin that all of the photos that I got were really beautiful, which made my work quite difficult. But I tried to structure it in a way so that I could give you something to take home. And for you who haven't left photo for critique but you are watching this, hold on to your camera because I think you can learn a lot from this video. First up we have Akseli Elivainio. On Instagram you can find him on Akseli Elivainio _photography. And of course again it's linked down in the descriptions. So we have a photo of a very dynamic ICM photo, intentional camera movement photo of a person riding a bicycle, and the background is blurred out and the person is quite in the middle of the frame. It's easy to see what's important in this shot, and that takes me to the focus and the subject. The focus is quite soft and almost gives cinematic feeling, since the subject is quite anonymous there with their glasses on and the coat going fast in somewhere. I'm thinking he's probably a person going home from work maybe, and the surroundings are just blurred out, so that makes this not less of a in my perspective less documentary kind of photo and more maybe cinematic. We follow this antagonist going somewhere. We have a very contrasty black and white photo that we are looking at. The contrast of the light background and the dark silhouette or the character in the foreground makes a beautiful balance between the two. It's a play between dark and light, and I do love that. The light hits beautifully on the character's face, which very much enhances the focus to the first thing you see when you look at this photo is the face and the character, and I think that is very important. If, for instance, you see a photo where the light is hitting somewhere else than where you intend to for the viewer to look at, it can be somehow confusing. So this one is really like the light hits very beautifully on the face, so you know, like, okay, it's this character going on a bike somewhere. So as I said, this is a story of a practical commuter, maybe going from work back home, maybe past the store, bought some stuff, and is pedaling home to be with his family. The other thing I actually thought of was maybe this is a metalhead going to a metal concert, and he has all his things with him, because I don't know, I got that vibe from his boots and the coat, and like there's some cool darkness in his energy. So I was also thinking maybe he's going to some metal festival or some metal gig. That could also be some part of the story. I'm interested. I think this photo makes me interested in who is this person, this anonymous person, but still kind of cool looking, going on this bike somewhere. So yeah, there was a lot of stories that my head made up when I looked at it. Coming to like some suggested improvements, I think one thing that might be easier, well, like might make this photo even better, in my opinion, maybe, is that one thing is that maybe the focus could be more sharp on the character. I don't know how fast shutter speed you used, but this is one thing that if it would have been faster, maybe the focus would have been even sharper on the character. Then the other thing that I was thinking of was, someone said that if someone is going to the right, then that person is leaving home. If that person is going to the left, that person is coming back home. And I think this has something also to do with how we read in the Western culture. It's from left to right. And then the other thing is, if we put a subject in the middle, then we maybe tell more of a story of loneliness or emptiness. If the subject is moving, if you think about the rule of thirds, out of the frame, that would be, for instance, if the subject would be on the left rule of third line and going out, that would be a more disconnect. And if that subject would be turned towards the center of the frame, then that would be more of a connect. So these things you can play around with, and depending on what story you want to tell, you can use this to your advantage. So thank you, Akseli, for this super cool shot. Let's go to the next one, and that is a shot by Anna Rotsensova. And on Instagram you can find Anna on fragment.only. And this shot I found really interesting, and my eyes first hit on the staircase and followed it up, and then I realized this character down in the right corner to focus on, like, who is he, what is he doing there. I really like the idea that the photo is not totally flat. It's not photographed like right against the wall, but it has there's like these lines leading from left to right, and this makes it really interesting. The positioning of the shot, I think, is really cool, since I get the feeling that the main person, the main character of this shot is the stairs, and that's something that I really enjoy. I also like how my eyes moved around the photo, freely kind of like looking for what's happening here in this scene. My thought is that this is some sort of a inner yard, maybe at a cafe or restaurant, and the light is quite high. So, but since it's down there, the light hits like from above, and I think that's really beautiful and kind of really beautifully lights the person in the right corner, and also how the light hits is really nice, and it's like a contrast between like a dark alley and this really like beautiful summer day with lots of light. I really enjoy also like the hardness of the architecture and the person there that kind of brings like life to the scene. So there's like a nice contrast play with living things and static things. So that's something that I really enjoy as well. Like the story I see in this photo is a story of a building, a story of something that has been there for decades and has been used for different things, and now it's there, and it's some sort of a celebration that people had at that place, and the building is looking at this and is like, this is just another day for the building, but maybe the building enjoys being lit up, and that people uses it for parties and festivities. So this is a story, a historic story about a building. I love this image, I must say. Some suggested improvements to this photo would probably be that if I could, I know this is a street shot, but I would move that character down in the right corner up to the stairs by the chimney, or I think it's a chimney or something, up on the left right rule of thirds, maybe lower left point. There I would put the character on the stairs, and that would instantly, when I start looking at the photo, lead my eye towards the stairs, and then from there I would follow the steps up. Maybe that would change the story. Maybe it would be a story about that character instead then. But maybe that what I would do, so that I think it would bring more balance to the scene. But this is just one idea. I know, again, it's a street photo. You can't change things how they are. But that would be, if it would be a staged scene, I would move that person there. Thank you, Anna. This was a super photo. Good work. The third photo is actually from a dude that I have had a photo walk with on this channel, and that's Christian Lux, or on Instagram Thomas Christian Lux. And also, if you want to watch that photo walk after this, I will link that up here somewhere, so that you can click that and check out the story of Thomas. Thomas gave me this, Christian. And Christian gave me this photo to critique. I really like it. I think it's a very, very dynamic photo of a snowy town reflection through a window. The focus lands for me on the silhouette first, and then at the building in behind, and then I start seeing these layers, then I see the flowers, then I see the cars, and it kind of opens up slowly, and that's something I really enjoy, how this photo is constructed. The position and the rule of thirds is really nice, because the character is in the middle, and as I said, characters in the middle bring some sort of emptiness, and then at the same time we have these flowers and the cars kind of surrounding this silhouette, which makes this almost like a beautiful portrait. At the same time, with all these elements, I think the combination of them all makes this photo in a really interesting way, like quite abstract I would say. It makes this photo quite abstract, even though you can see clearly all these elements. And that's something that really I really enjoy looking at this. again, it's a black and white photo, and there's a lot of contrast here. There's this contrasts of beauty and color, and well, maybe not color in a black, but I can sense the color of the flowers, the softness of the greens, and then the hardness and grayness of winter and cold. And so there's warm and cold, there's dark and light, there's people, there's cars, there are so many contrasts to this photo, which also I think adds to that feeling of the abstract. This photo actually, I got this huge, I looked at it for just a while, and I thought there is a big story in this photo. To me, I found this silhouette in the middle. I had this thought that they was carrying a beret, or a beret, a military hat, and so my thought was actually, it led me to this story of a old man that had been serving his country for many years, and now as an old person, he still wants to remind himself that he matters, that he has a role in this community, and that's why he still wears his military hat, even though there has gone many years since he was actually actively serving. And yeah, so I got this quite sad story, and here also I think because the silhouette is in the middle, there is this emptiness and this looking for belonging. So I think there's at least me, I got this really strong story out of this beautiful shot. To give some critique on or some suggested improvements, I would maybe shift the focus a little bit from the flowers to the street. I don't exactly know how it would affect the reflection, but I think that's something that I would try or experiment with to see how it would change, and maybe that focus would maybe tell another story, but it would be really cool. So playing around with where the focus is can be with reflection photos can bring different layers to it. So try that. Really good photo though. So now there's three down and 3 to go. But first, did you know that you can actually join my WhatsApp community, where I inform you about what's going on? You get like some behind the scenes content, you get some free things like gifts, and also what I want to give you is of course the opportunity and get first the info when I'm arranging photo walks, when I'm arranging critique videos, so that you can send your critique photos. You get the info first. So please, in the description there's a link to the WhatsApp community. I post about once a week. I don't want to spam you with some background, what's been going on, and also like these things and latest video and stuff like that. So please join our community to get the latest info, and also if you want to join these critique videos in the future and such things. Now to the fourth photo. This fourth photo is by a person named Filip Bartos. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it somehow right. Filip is using photo app for his display of his work, for his platform to display his work. Photo app is also an app that I use, and if you're interested in that, I can link you to that video as well. I made some first impressions of the app. Now it has it's almost out of beta, so go check it out. It has improved a lot since I made the video, but it's a nice platform for photographers. Anyways, so Filip found me on photo app, and this is the photo he contributed with for this critique video. It's a person running up the stairs, maybe to a train or something. It's a very dynamic shot, probably something like shot on a 125, which I use very often, and then this is the effect that happens. The surrounding is very clear. You see the stairs, you see the texture and everything, and then at the same time the person, if someone is moving fast, you can actually see the movement in the character and or the subject. The focus here is of course instantly on that person that probably is afraid to miss the train or something, and is positioned quite nicely on the rule of third. So and here, as I mentioned earlier, with going inwards with characters, it makes a connection. So he's running towards the middle of the photo. This is really a really nice photo of a everyday commuter, which is quite anonymous. Everyone has probably been in that same situation sometimes. At least that could be me very well, running to the metro station, for instance. This photo clearly gives a more documenting vibe, with the sharp focus on the scene and a bit blurrier on the character. Again, it's a black and white photo, and the light comes from above, and that's all. I think that often gives a really nice dramatic view, since you often stand like in the darkness, photo upwards toward the light, and also that brings a nice contrast with coming from the darkness to the light and all that. The textures of the stairs is really beautiful in this photo. I enjoyed like the hard stone textures in contrast to the running man. To give you some suggested improvements, I think this is a very good photo. I have shot many like this myself. One thing that I often, at least with my photos, feel when I shoot them is that I get a bit bored, since I can take a million of these photos, and I get this feeling that something is often missing. And what I have tried, not always succeeded, very seldomly succeeded, is that I tried different perspectives, views, try to play with light and shadow, really, to make like these really contrasty work. Sometimes I bring down the light in my camera so much that it's almost just silhouettes that we see, and that makes the photo sometimes more interesting. Or then if I choose a moment where that is very crowded, and try to like capture one person that kind of stands out from the crowd, and that somehow makes the photo even more interesting. So I think there's a lot of photo chances, and someone said if you look at a scene and you see like, hey, there's something in this scene, then there is something in that scene. You just have to find it. Sometimes, at least I get this feeling that I can't find it, but by trying different things, try to stand on different places in that scene, you might find that thing that your brain told you that here's something. And I think with these kind of shots, at least I have had to be like really patient, wait, see, try to figure out, and then sometimes left with a good photo, sometimes I have left with nothing. Thank you very much, Filip, for this great photo. It's really nice that you contributed it. And now to the fifth shot by Henri Kasonen, Street Breeze on Instagram. This photo, I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. I really like how my focus first turned towards the character sitting by the table, then watching like the scene grow, and then see like there's another scene in the scene as well, which I found really interesting. So the composition here is, I think, carefully balanced, and with these elements, like I would say there's these 3 points: the character, the lights, and the painting or the photo on the wall. And between these 3, I think this photo, it brings a good balance to it. And it's a very static photo from a cafe somewhere that kind of just documents the everyday life of a person. Maybe the person just has come there and grab a cup of coffee and do some work, maybe some studying, something like that. I love the calmness in this one. The positioning of everything seems like, I think you said, Henri, when you sent it, that this was like a quick hip shot, but I think it feels so balanced. It feels so like everything feels that it's exactly where it should be, and that's that's photography for you. Sometimes you just capture that moment, and it works out this well. It's quite anonymous in a way. Again, maybe like the commuter or the biker, same thing here, that it could be anyone sitting there doing, like, studying, working, answering emails, whatever. But it's this person that happened to get caught on your frame. And I really like also, like, when I look at this, I do love the play with dark and shadow, and dark and light. And I do really like that the light coming from the right, like shining up this person and the scene, and then on the left side we have like this more darker, this darker part. Maybe it's a big window there by the lights as well, but I think the lights hanging down from the ceiling also brings this beautiful calm light to the scene. And also at the same time, I would say it's a bit dramatic, since there's like clearly this darker and lighter spots. If I can give you any suggested improvements, I would maybe take down the exposure just a little bit to get the face more clear on the person sitting by the table. Otherwise, I don't know, I would just print this big and put it in a frame, because this is a great work. I really enjoy it. Thank you very much, Henri, for contributing with this photo. The last shot of the bunch is by Sven Reichel. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Oka-P318 on Instagram. This photo, it will end this critique session with a blast. I was amazed when I looked at this photo. Maybe because I do love photos where you can connect with people. You connect through the photo with people. That's amazing. So what we got is a static shot of a girl looking at a man somewhere crowded, looks like outside of a restaurant, and I think this is very nicely balanced photo where the character is in the rule of thirds. You know instantly who to look at, since the light is shining on that girl there, and everything else is a bit blurred, like not blurred, well, also blurred out, but also more in the shadow. So this is a, I don't know, amazing photo, and I do love the balance and I do love the contrast in this photo, also because there is this girl, and she's like lit up and everything else is dark, but also the contrast of the fabrics and textures of the scene with the softness around it, and then the look of the girl that is quite hard on some level. To me, looking at this, like, the story I saw instantly was this story of a girl. The story that has been sung in a lot of songs around the world. This girl has been going through like difficult things. She can manage on her own. She's a strong person. At the same time, she's struggling maybe with sometimes trusting people. This is the story that hit me when I saw it. I was instantly very drawn to this photo. And also here we can see the girl is looking towards the center of the frame, which makes the connection even stronger. And then, like, to some suggested improvements, I don't know, can I even say this? But it's such a small thing, and I don't know if it's possible, but what I would maybe try to do maybe requires a bit more editing, but the menu of the restaurant, I would probably somehow try to turn down the whiteness in that one. Not so much that it would disturb and you could see it would be edited, but on some level so that the girl's face would pop even more in the photo. I don't know if it's a relevant thing to say, but yeah, that's just a small thing that I would consider. But at the same time, I don't know if even I have the skills to keep the balance of the photo so that it wouldn't look over edited. But this is a beautiful, super beautiful frame, and I must thank you very much for contributing it, Sven. This is crazy good. This is a great place to end this critique video. Before you leave, I would like you to feedback me on how did you think it went? How did you feel about me critiquing? Was it useful? Did it give you something? Which one was the best? And why was it the best photo? Big thanks to all of you for contributing, for watching. Don't give up your daydream.